Well, what is going on, guys? It's Mr. Affleck 9916. Welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator 2 episode. I have no idea what episode this is because it's been about 4 months since we've last uploaded. I have so much to tell you guys about. I spent the whole summer in Alaska. It was quite the experience, so we're going to do a little 30-45 minute episode today and kind of catch you up on what is new. In terms of what is new with the game, we did get teleported back to Stockholm because there was a game update over the summer. I know we are in this area. I think Pex is where we finished off, if I can remember correctly. And the plan was to go down to Italy. So I think what we want to do is just head south. Maybe we can get a job going down to Karlskrona or something like that and work our way down Germany and maybe down into Italy if we can just get there as quickly as possible. So we're in Stockholm. Let's go ahead and take a look at the freight market. Obviously we have our, we want the cargo market, being that we have our trailer. Jobs to Lublin, Poland. St. Petersburg, that's not the right direction. Finland, Kaliningrad, which kind of might work. I could see that being a destination. Latvia, again, that's kind of east. I'd like to go straight south. Karlskrona, but that's a new city that we have not been to yet. And it's in Sweden. It would be really cool to go to Kaliningrad, though, because this is just a little chunk of Russia that's not connected to the rest of the country. So I think that would be a pretty cool place to go. And let's see how I get there. Where is that job now? Kaliningrad. That's going to pay $18.32. We could also just take the ferry down to Gdansk. And then ferry price is $11.10. It would probably be cheaper if I took it to Gdansk and then just drove. So actually, we'd get down there pretty quick. So yeah, we'll sacrifice seeing all the new, checking off the rest of Sweden and Denmark. We will come back and finish off eventually. Let's go to Kaliningrad. We have two options for that ferry if that's what we want to do. So we go to the IKEA. Let me just make sure there's nothing that's actually better. I didn't get to go through all of them. These are more local ones, other places in Sweden and stuff like that. So we'll take the 22 tons of empty pallets down to Kaliningrad, Russia. We are all rested up, all ready to go. Let's get the engine on. Oh, that feels good. Can turn the lights off because I just rested. And for the first time in a while, guys, we are driving. I pulled over in the Scania dealer to take a little bit of a rest. I don't think my truck needs to be repaired at all, does it? What's our damage level? 3%. That's alright, I'll just let it go. I think it's good enough for now. So I hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you guys are having a good Wednesday afternoon. I hope you guys all had a really good summer of playing games and doing all kinds of things. I had quite an amazing summer, as I mentioned at the end of the spring. I spent the summer in rural Alaska working for a company called Pen Air as a customer service agent. So basically printing off people's bag tags, giving them their boarding passes, and then when they get on the plane, I would check their boarding passes, make sure they're who they claim to be. And okay, that guy was turning, thank goodness. A little bit rusty on the driving, because this is the first time I've played in a long time. But anyway, that was kind of the gist of the job. I don't think the job had really too much to explain regarding it, because it was a pretty straightforward job, but it was tough because we worked, you know, over 40. Oh, let's slow down. Don't want to get a speed ticket. We worked over 40 hours a week, so, you know, put in a lot of hours, put in a lot of time. And, you know, there were a couple weeks of like 55 hours or so. So that was, you know, that was tiring because I started at 10 a.m. and then I didn't finish till 8 p.m. because I had a 2-hour lunch. And then by the time you get home, you got to make dinner. It's a communal kitchen, so, you know, everyone's fighting for the resources. It was not a proper amount of pots and pans and stuff in the kitchen. So everyone was fighting for that. Everyone was just really trying their hardest to, you know, make it the best they could for themselves. So sometimes we cooked together because there was a bunch of us in the program. Sometimes we'd cook for ourselves, and it was kind of all a mess to get it right and to, you know, figure out living that way. I had a roommate for the summer too, so that was kind of weird because I've never even had a roommate before. It took me until my senior year of college. After my senior year of college, now I'm in my 5th year. It took me until that long to actually have one. But luckily, he was a pretty nice guy, and we got along pretty well. It's important to like the person that you're rooming with, so that was kind of important. But overall, I had a blast because I got to go to so many places, and I got to see so many things. Mainly involving just hiking and, you know, eating wild berries, eating wild salmon, which was awesome. I didn't actually catch any fish. I only went fishing once, and the run hadn't really started yet for the salmon, but I was able to eat a lot of fish once they started coming in, and some of the locals who put nets out were able to just catch a bunch of the salmon, so that was a pretty cool thing. Hello, IKEA. Let's go ahead and pull right in. All my mods had been turned off. I couldn't load my oh shoot, I think I done goofed that one up. Is that gonna clear? Yeah. Barely. My goodness. Alright. Cargo market and Kaliningrad. 22 tons of empty pallets. Awesome. Let's go ahead and back this in and load. But anyway, a lot of the people I worked with had tons and tons of salmon, and I was able to just eat a bunch of it for myself. Salmon is kind of the center of that part of Alaska. It's the center of most of the state of Alaska, at least on the coastal areas. And you know, the reason that I worked there for the summer is because the airlines need more people to work the salmon runs, basically, because they don't have enough customer service agents to, you know, help with all the extra planes that they require, because there is so much. I think I'm just gonna have to make a turn here and try to come in from the other side. I did not do this very well. It has been a while, guys, and I am very rusty. Oh shoot, what did I just hit? Oh, come on. Oh boy. What did it get? What? Did it glitch? Oh, the trailer jackknifed on the actual back of the truck. Whoa. Wow. That thing was way off. Alright, my goodness. Wow. I did not anticipate that. That's nasty. Alright, just turn it to the right here, and then just re-back it in. My goodness gracious, that was just nasty. If we cut it up like this. Okay. Then we can back it in. Let's put it into reverse. Steering wheel's upside down. We go all the way to the left here. And we're just gonna have to nice and easy move this thing in. I guess it was turned more than I thought it was earlier, and it just completely jackknifed. I think am I gonna hit those cones, or is it gonna work? This actually might work. I think I went a little much. Alright, do it like that. And then just super slow. There we go. This way. Take your time until you get it right. That's one thing I should have learned from all this time playing this game. Okay. Sorry for those of you watching on mobile, you probably can't see anything at the moment. But that's okay, because I think I've about got it. It's a little off-center. Okay. Oh, trailer damage 4%. I backed it into the thing. Man, disastrous. Disastrous, folks. I'm a bit cold because I have not done this in a long time, and clearly I am struggling quite a bit. You know, I wanted to come back from the summer and be fresh and ready to go, with the school year, with everything, and I've spent this first week just kind of doing whatever. I think that's good enough. Okay, stop the engine and load the cargo. But anyway, guys, yeah, I wanted to start the school year off really good, get up on time, go to all my classes, and it just did not start very well. The first week was just awful. And I guess this game is kind of a metaphor for how how the first week went. But that's right, first back-end was rough. Let's go ahead and make that first delivery good and just try to, you gotta just start somewhere to make it work. And that's what we will do. So now I can get back to what I was saying. The whole reason I was up there for the summer was because of the salmon run. And they needed people basically because there's so many extra flights because so many people come up as fishermen to basically catch salmon over the summer that they have to fly over 10,000 people into this little town. And this town is like, 1,000 people or less. It's very small. Why does everyone have their headlights on? It's middle of the day. Come on, guys. It's a very small town, and 10,000 people come in the summer, so it just implodes in population, and then they all fly out when the salmon stop running, because the salmon they're migratory, so they only, come in every year, once a year, and come in, lay eggs, and spawn, and then that's it. They're all gone, because they actually, when the salmon come in to lay eggs, they actually die, and then the baby salmon are born, they grow up in the estuaries, and then they swim out to the sea in like October, and then a couple years later they come back, and there's different fish every year because they're on, a couple year cycles of going out to the ocean, come back to the rivers. So it's a crazy thing, but 10,000 people flying out of a small town in 2 weeks is nuts, and that's why they needed extra help. So that's how I was able to get the internship up in Alaska, and it was an amazing experience. Just being able to see the wilderness up there and see the nature, it's just unlike anywhere else. The coolest place I got to go was to a place called Katmai. Katmai is a national park up in Alaska, and it's world famous because you can watch wild grizzly bears actually eat salmon from the river as the salmon try to jump up about I think it's a 6-foot waterfall. A 6-foot waterfall, the salmon will try to jump up, and the bears will basically catch them midair, or sometimes they'll catch them out of the water before they jump up, maybe even after. And then the bears eat the fish, and it's just an amazing thing to see. Watching them, the way they eat the fish. They don't eat the whole fish. They only eat like the skin of the fish because it's more nutritious. And to be so close to wild grizzly bears, I mean, the viewing platform at the park, you are sometimes 5 feet away from a wild grizzly bear that could crush your head in one bite if you wanted to. So it's really a cool place, and there's nowhere else where you can be that close to wild animals. I even saw a wolf taking a little nap one of the 2 times that I went there, and it was just a magical place. It's a place I know I have to go back to someday, and as I said, there's nowhere else like it in the world. So I got to go to Katmai. That was really cool. I took a couple side trips. I went up to Barrow, Alaska, which is the northernmost town in the United States. So for about 30 minutes, I actually went to the northernmost point, and I was actually the single northernmost person on land, unless someone was, of course, in water. How have I not been to this town on this profile yet? That's insane. That's just nuts. Because I've been to it on all my old profiles. Bizarre. But anyway, I became the northernmost person in the U.S., and it's in the Arctic Circle. It's way up there, a lot more north than Stockholm, and anywhere I've driven in Euro truck. And basically, it's so far north. It was June 30th, last day of June, and the temperature was 41 degrees. And the sun doesn't set, so 3 in the morning, it was middle of the afternoon. It's just, it's just midday for 3 months straight, and then in the wintertime, it's just dark for 3 months straight. That was my favorite thing about Alaska. Where I was, the sun wouldn't set until 11:30, and it never fully really got dark. It would kind of... Oh, I hate when they do this. Not supposed to let me go, but whatever. I will take it. But yeah, it never fully got dark, which was just awesome. Because I never had to deal with, nighttime, and even though I got out of work late, it was still daylight out, so I could still go do stuff after work a little bit, which was cool. Not that there was much to do, because the community where I was had no roads, so that's the other thing, no roads. There was one road that connected the two small towns, but to get your car there, you had to ferry it, and that's why everyone has about a 10-year-old car there, because it's very expensive. But you can't drive to, like, Anchorage from there. You cannot drive to, you know, Seattle. You cannot drive anywhere else. It just has its own little kind of separate road system, and it's very unique. It's very unlike anywhere else you'll ever go in your life, because it's just a whole different culture out there. The cell service is, I had to buy a local provider, and they only have 3G cell service, so that was pretty fascinating. It's just all that kind of stuff in the game, and there really is nothing else like it. Look at this, guys. It's $500 cheaper to go to Gdansk. I mean, sure, it's longer. Actually, when is my thing due, though? That's what I need to find out. My freight is due Saturday. Oh, I have until 9 o'clock. So, ooh, I do not want to cancel my current job. Holy moly. Okay. We want to take the ferry. Yes, we'll save. We're going to make 500 extra bucks off this one. And just kind of different direction to where we're going. So, yeah, it's going to take longer, but that $500 extra, it'll end up rounding out and helping us out just as well. Not going to complain about that. Alright, folks, welcome to Gdansk, Poland. Had not been to Poland in quite a while on this game, so good to be back in my native homeland, in a way. I'm half Polish, so good to be back home in a way, even though I've never actually been there in real life. But anyway, no roads there, so that was crazy. But the craziest story that I have from Alaska, I think I'm going to work this into the title some way, was when I went to this place called Aniakchak Volcano. It's a volcano that's even more remote than where I was in Alaska. It's in this little village of about 80 people, just a few dirt pathways through the village pretty much. People ride around on ATVs. There's a couple trucks, but no one really uses them. And it's a bizarre place because it's got this big old volcano right next to it, and this thing, I mean, it used to be like the size of Mount Rainier. It was like 11,000 feet tall, I think, or 8,000 feet tall, which isn't as tall as Rainier, but it was a lot wider, so it's just a huge volcano. And about, I want to say like 60,000 years ago, or some crazy time ago, the volcano had this huge eruption and collapsed into itself, and now it's a crater. So it's like a 4,000 foot mountain, but the inside's a huge crater. If you've ever seen Crater Lake in Oregon, I assume it's like that, just way bigger, and it actually has a crater lake, but most of it's not filled with water. Hello, guy on a bike. You are going super slow, and where are you going to end up? That path just ends. Wonder what he's going to end up doing. I can't see him anymore. But anyway, so the plan was to fly to this little village called Port Haydn, and then to basically take an ATV up to the crater rim, to the very top, take a look into the crater, and go back, and then spend the night in the town and fly back to King Salmon, which is where I lived, for the next day, and then go to work the day after that. So it's just a quick one day out, one day back flight. So I get on the plane, and it's a little 8-seater type plane. Half of it's full of cargo. Actually, most of it's full of cargo. They had mail on this plane because that's how the U.S. mail still contracts with the airlines there, because obviously there's no roads, so they can't get the mail there any other way. But we get there, and the way... Oh, I don't turn left here. What am I doing? I'm really not thinking. My goodness. So we get to this little town, and the guy that was my bed and breakfast host and my Airbnb, or bed and breakfast host and my tour guide, he drives his truck onto the runway. It's a little dirt runway. That's what you land on there. It's like dirt. And then they pick you up basically on the runway. There's no building for the airport. And there's a guy in the town that's a village agent, and if you need to buy a ticket, you gotta go talk to him or something like that. Obviously, I bought mine at the bigger airport I was, which actually has a terminal. It's a very small terminal. It was a one-room airport where I worked all summer, although the terminal for this airline was in a different building. So, yeah, another weird setup there. And of course, there's no TSA screening or anything like this, because these airports aren't, you know, it just wouldn't make sense to actually have TSA for these little planes, because, I mean, there's really no terroristic harm that could even be done, because these things are so small and so few people, and they fly to such remote little villages. So basically we got to we got to this little town. He picked me up, and we had to get some ATVs. It was a whole mess because it was broken down. He had to get one from a family member of his, and I met half the village. The village is like 3 families. There's all sort of village drama that goes on. It's just a crazy place. And we go up through this wild ATV path. We go up through the tundra, through a swamp. There's actually a ton of swamp in Alaska. Did not expect that. And so we go through all this crazy terrain, and then we finally get to kind of a rocky area, and we go up this rocky area, and it gets foggy. We thought the clouds were going to lift, they didn't. So we go through the clouds, we're still on this mountain, and eventually we find our way to the crater rim. The clouds did clear briefly, so I got to see about halfway through the crater. I got to see all the new like cinder cones from new eruptions and stuff like that. So it was, I got what I came for, and it was time to, wait a minute, this is a confusing road here. Okay, it's just like, that lane is just a through lane, I guess. But anyway, so we finally decide to head back. It's like, I think it was 9:30, and it gets dark at like 11 or something like that. So we had like an hour and a half till dark. We knew it took us about 2 hours to get up, but obviously we're lost. So what we should have done was follow our tracks back, right? Because ATVs make tracks even in the volcanic rock towards the top of the mountain. But we don't. We decided to shoot down this valley that we could see, and we figure it'll get us down quicker. Well, it leads us about 11 miles too far to the north, so we are like way off track. We start driving around through the tundra, through all this thick bush. They call it the Alaskan bush because it's literally a bunch of bushes. So, we're going around through the bush, and it's just a nightmare. It gets dark, and we realize that, we're not going to make it back. We have to spend the night in the Alaskan wilderness with wolves, bears, lynx. I don't think there's any sort of outline or anything like that, but wolves and bears are kind of the main threats because they have, there's been fatalities from both of those animals, and we're out here with a shotgun with 4 bullets, and we fired one of those off to scare off the animals. Then we realized we needed to start a fire. We had a little Bic lighter, and we were able to kindle some paper, basically. That's all I had. We were able to kindle a little bit of paper from my camera's manual, because I brought my camera with me to the top of the mountain to try to get pictures. So we kindled some paper, and that seemed to work because it started a little fire, but obviously there wasn't enough to keep burning it because it was just a little scraps of paper from a book. So I didn't want to burn my whole book either, so we were able to grab actual tundra, which is a real low-lying plant, and we were able to burn some tundra, just smokes really. We got a lot of different dead twigs, and, bushes and stuff like that. There's no trees in this part of Alaska. There's no trees in most of Alaska. So, basically we had to just make do with what we had. And we were able to keep the fire mostly going throughout the night. The flames never really got big. I think once or twice they got like a foot high. We were all pretty happy about that. But it was more of a smolder for most of the night than it was an actual fire. It was not great. But it kept the animals away, and it kept us a little bit warm. It didn't get super cold. It went down into the 40s, I think. Which, when you're laying out there, it starts to get a bit cold. But we had jackets and stuff, and it really wasn't too bad. I'd been in Alaska for 2 months at this point, so I was already used to the weather being the way it is. But, man, there's speed cameras all over this bridge. Got to slow down to 50 again. Cannot mess around with speeding tickets. Very well. So, the next morning comes. My phone died. My tour guide had 9% left, and the third guy, which was the tour guide's nephew, had his phone die as well. And none of us had cell service. So at this point, we knew that, we were in big trouble. One ATV ended up breaking down. The wheel fell off the night before. We had been going through the crater of the volcano, and I saw a wheel flying down ahead of us. I thought it was a rock slide. Turns out it was his wheel. And he crashed. I don't know if he flipped it over, but he crashed the ATV. Luckily, he wasn't harmed. So we had to end up going 3 people on one remaining ATV. We drive this around for the rest of the morning, and basically the ATV ran out of gas. We were in a swamp, it ran out of gas. We went around for hours trying to find the actual path, because that would have got us back super quick. Then we realized we were just going to have to go straight to the ocean rather than actually go to the path. So we knew that we were in some big trouble at this point. It ran out of gas in a swamp. So at this point, we hiked about a half a mile to the end of the swamp, and then there was finally some tundra. So we get on the tundra, and as I said, it's just really low, like 1-inch high plants. We run out of water. We almost run out of food. In fact, we did run out of food. So basically, we ate some wild berries for the moisture and just have something to eat. That was my first time eating wild berries ever, and they were actually pretty delicious. I found a couple blueberries that were really, really good. They weren't really even in season yet, but they were still really fun to eat. So it was kind of weird because we were looking at plants and berries and stuff, and at the same time, we had not slept at all. I didn't fall asleep at all when I was in the wilderness the night before. So I had to, stay awake basically, and we had to walk all the way to the top of this ridge line where we got phone service, and my guide texted his sister, told us where we were. One of the locals already had a plane up doing patterns for us, so I guess that was good. There was rescue on the way, so to say. But he was way off because he thought we were where we were supposed to be, but of course we were way off course, and they didn't know that. So eventually, we decided to meet at the beach, and we walked a total of 9 miles through tundra and just unforgiving Alaskan terrain, a little bit of bush, a little bit of swamp, mostly tundra, eating berries along the way. We saw a fox. We thought we saw a wolf the night before, actually. I guess one of the guys I'd with had seen red eyes, and he thought it was a wolf. So, there's all sorts of crazy wildlife out there, and, we had no choice but to just be super careful, keep looking over our backs. Thank God the guide had a gun, or else I would have been pretty scared because we don't have bear spray or anything like that. So ultimately, we walk all the way to the beach. We have to climb down this big cliff to get down to the beach, and a little bit later the plane comes over our head, and it sees us, turns around, flies over us super low to let us know that he saw us, and then the ATVs came out and found us. And this wasn't like an official search plane. It was just a local who figured he would find us quicker with a plane than going around on an ATV all day. So eventually, we walked down the beach about a mile. We stopped. We hung out for about 35 minutes, waited for them to pick us up. It was a nice, beautiful morning. You could see the fishing boats off the shore. I think a lot of them were actually a bunch of Russians, because a lot of Russians live in Alaska. Speaking of Russians, we're about to cross back into Russia again, so back in the motherland, should I say? But anyway, that's kind of what happened, and eventually they picked us up, brought us some ham sandwiches, and of course it's just the worst lunch meat ham ever because it's been so processed to get to this little village because they don't really have like proper grocery stores and stuff. So that's kind of an interesting thing. But ultimately, we ended up making it back. They drove us back, and I missed my flight back to King Salmon and ended up having to fly back the next day. And I ended up missed pretty much a full day at work because of it, so I guess I got out of work for a day because of it, which is nice. But man, it was a crazy experience. I ended up sleeping the night in this house that's kind of near the coast, and it was just, a beautiful, beautiful sunset that night, and just a crazy, crazy experience. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie, it was, a little bit enjoyable at times. I mean, you would think it would be a fully miserable experience, and it was awful. I mean, at some points you have to wonder, like, man, like, this could become a survival situation, and we didn't have to do too much survival stuff, but we did have to start a fire, and we had to scurry for food a little bit, but, luckily you can go plenty of days without food, and we were just a matter of hours. I think the biggest concern was water, and that's why I really didn't want to be out there a second night, because I didn't want to have to go another day without water. That just would have been awful. So yeah, that's basically what happened in Alaska. That was kind of the craziest thing. Then after that, kind of went to Katmai for the second time and kind of just enjoyed the rest of the summer there, and that pretty much was it. I went back to Anchorage for a weekend, hung out with a friend I had met there, and then the last week that I was there, it was I decided to stay in Alaska about a week after I finished working, and I went up to Denali National Park, did a big bus tour there, which was super awesome. Really enjoyed that. It was like a 12-hour bus ride. I didn't get to actually see Denali, which is the tallest mountain in Alaska, tallest mountain in North America, one of the tallest mountains in the world. But I didn't get to see it. Oh, that white plant right there looks like some of the plants from Alaska, actually. But anyway, I just got to see Anchorage, go up to Fairbanks, see that city, and then if you've ever seen the movie Into the Wild, I got to see the prop bus from the movie, so I got to check that out. And then I hiked a little bit of the trail that actually goes out to the actual bus from the movie by myself. with a can of bear spray, and I was clutching onto that. I had a big fishing knife in the other hand. I was holding onto that too, so I was really, really trying not to die out there in the wilderness. And I didn't see any wildlife at all on that hike. But the day before in Denali, I saw so many bear, and I saw moose, we saw lynx, we saw all kinds of stuff, caribou. Just amazing wildlife spotting up there, and that, folks, is really the best thing about Alaska. Is the amount of wildlife is just second to none. I mean, there's nowhere else in the world that has the wildlife that places in Alaska have. It's really a magical thing and really a wonderful thing. And that was probably my favorite thing about being there, was seeing the salmon, the bears, the moose, just all different animals. And it's untouched wilderness, because a lot of the rest of the world is farmland or cities, or the worst of all, suburban housing sprawl and strip malls and stuff. And in a lot of the eastern U.S. where I live, all the predators have really been killed off. I mean, we have some black bears in Pennsylvania, so we still get bear a little bit, and I've seen it every once in a while. But the wolves that used to live in Pennsylvania and Ohio are all long gone, and the bobcats are gone. They're starting to come back a little bit, but it's just not perfect like it is in Alaska. The wilderness is as if humans have never been there. The only humans that really have been there until the last 100 years were the natives, and they lived in harmony with the land, because that was kind of their way of life at the time. So it's kind of an interesting thing. When I was in Barrow, I saw a bowhead whale, which was super cool, and that was just a rare thing to see. I saw a bunch of rare Arctic birds. No polar bears. I wanted to see a polar bear, but they're out on the sea ice in the middle of summer. You got to come in the wintertime if you want to see the polar bears, which would have been super cool. I really wanted to see a polar bear in Alaska, but that's right. I will definitely go back, because Alaska is an amazing place, and I think seeing a polar bear would be quite an amazing experience. All right, let's turn in here. We're almost to Kaliningrad. Looks to be a oil-heavy city here. Where is the actual city? It's kind of up there. I guess we're delivering to a little depot on the outskirts here. Just 16 kilometers left, and we got a Russian train coming. Alright. Here he comes. Looks like a freight train. He's moving pretty fast. Hello. Oh, the trains are so small in this game. Five little trucks worth of oil. They gotta have more than that. My golly. Kind of a cool thing to see, though. I'm glad that they, feature that in the game. Obviously, grade crossings are, not the most efficient, but still kind of a cool thing to see. Speaking of trains, when I got back from Alaska, I did a train trip with my brother, and we took a train from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia, which was awesome. And then we trained all the way down to D.C. and all the way up to Boston, and went to 5 different baseball games in 5 cities in 5 days. So that was just super cool. And I really enjoyed going to different cities, going to different games. That was quite an experience. And it was just a, one little trip at the end of a summer, which was basically a 3-month-long travel, insane journey anyway, to the corners of the U.S. Which I guess I didn't mention that, for the training for my job, I also worked for Alaska Airlines, which some of you may have flown on before. And I had to basically go to Seattle to be trained to learn how to use their computer system before I could go to Anchorage to be trained for Penn Air. So I got to go to Seattle for 12 days for training, and after that I got to go actually to Maui, that's where they sent us to do on-the-job training, which is just a crazy, I don't know how it makes sense for them to fly us all the way out to Maui and take up seats on a plane where they could make a lot of money going to Maui, but they did, and it was just awesome. I fell in love with that island, fell in love with Hawaii. It was just an amazing place. So yeah, I got to go back to Seattle again, and then actually at the end of the summer, after I finished up in Alaska, I flew back to Seattle and spent a couple days there, and my mom flew out and met me, and we went down to Portland, Oregon for a couple days, and then finally flew home. So I kind of just, rather than because I would have had to connect in Seattle to get home anyway. So I said I have family there. Can I just stop for a few days and then continue my flight out of Portland? And that's what, you know, I was able to do. And all the flights this whole summer were paid for by the company I worked for, which was awesome. I only paid for the flight up to Barrow. The airline that flew me to Port Hayden, it's called Grant Aviation. They gave me a free flight, so shout out to them for that. They're pretty nice people, and it was just an awesome thing. Like getting free flights to go all over the U.S. That's something that, you know, you don't really get much as a college intern, to go to all those places. So yeah, it was a pretty great summer. I really enjoyed it and had a lot of time to just chill and relax and, you know, reflect and just kind of hang out for a couple months. But now we're back, and as I said, this first week's been, I think, just the shock of being back. I've not been on my game, but now the plan is to actually, you know, first week was rough, but now we're going to get on our game for the rest of the time we're going to be here and try to just have a really good final year here at Ohio University, finish strong, and then go on from there. Try to get a flying job, maybe in Hawaii or Alaska or something like that, which would be cool. Alrighty. Where do you need it? Okay, this will be... Oh. Uh-oh. What am I supposed to do here? Okay, it's up there. This will be easy. Yay. Super easy. If I just go left here, and then to the right. See, sometimes life gives you something when you need it. And there is a perfect example. Let's put the sucker in reverse and back it back in. Just gonna look out the window here. Looks like we gotta get more to this side. I gotta get better at using the mirrors. Okay. Straighten it out because it looks pretty centered now. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Just do it right. That looks pretty good. Okay, we'll stop here. Parking brake on, engine off. How do we do? Yeah, looks awesome. Alright, 207 kilometers, 24 hours, 19 minutes, 72.3 liters. And skilled worker still, so let's see what job offers they have. I know I'll probably won't have to rest because I just took the ferry. Tallinn, Lithuania, and down there. I think this will actually be perfect, guys, because it's going to take a while to get through the border checkpoint. And it's another city we haven't been to, and it gets us a little bit more south. So for the next episode, after this one, we can continue booking it down towards Italy, where we want to go. So we'll go from Kaliningrad to Olsztyn, and then we'll finish off the video. That'll be it. So cargo's loaded, and we will head on out of here. Alrighty. I think I just got to go around. Awesome. So if you guys did anything interesting this hour, leave a little comment about it. If you got any fun stories. If it's a good story, I'll tell it in the next episode. If you'd like to share with the viewers. I guess that'll lead me into... I kind of want to use the rest of this episode to talk about, you know, kind of what's upcoming this year on YouTube for me. These train tracks just end. Because, you know, I haven't obviously uploaded in months, and now I'm actually back, and I want to kind of give you guys a roadmap of what's going to be happening. So I don't really remember what I said I was going to do in the spring, but I'm still starting an American Truck Sim. Washington is out. So it's time to get that started. That is going to be getting started probably within the next week. So American Truck Sim, folks, it's happening. It's officially time. Now that that's out, we'll be doing Euro and American trucks. So we'll be doing, you know, a full series on both. I am thinking about starting to stream on Twitch. I need to look into if I can do that or not. I don't see why not. What is this guy doing? Guess you need to get over or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to be doing American Truck Sim, so that'll be coming soon. Also, NHL 20 comes out very soon. We're going to be doing a series on that. I may do the occasional GeoGuessr videos if you guys like that, and some other one-off videos. I'm also thinking about actually doing a little Minecraft survival, but again, that might be a Twitch stream thing. I'm not really sure, because, you know, Minecraft, the thing is, you want to build a house, it just takes hours and hours to even build the house. So obviously that's something I'm going to have to, you know, it's not really something I can put the whole gameplay on YouTube like with this game. So we'll see if I actually do a Let's Play survival or something like that. Go ahead and cross these train tracks here. All three of them. I guess that... Oh man, there's dirt on the tracks. That is a safety hazard. Hopefully, those are old tracks that are not being used. But yeah, I might do that, but NHL is going to be the big thing that comes to the channel, because that's going to be coming out very, very, very soon. So expect to see a lot of different things coming, guys. I may throw in some surprises too. I'm gonna start mixing it up a little bit, trying to kind of change my videos aside from just these, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what you guys like to watch. We'll see what gets views, obviously, too. I mean, you all know I've never been one to do things for views. These have never gotten a ton, and I still do them because I know a few of you enjoy it, and of course I enjoy playing the game as well. But I think I'm gonna start maybe Twitch streaming this too, because as I said, I want to play it. The problem is I want to play actually more than I record. There's some days where I just want to play for 4 hours, and, you know, I can't record 4 hours of gameplay footage a day because then I'm not really going to be able to, you know, have enough to, first off, talk about, but secondly, that's way too much uploading, so that's just hours and hours of gameplay to upload. So, yeah, it is what it is, but we'll be doing that on the channel as it comes up. Headlight, oh my god. What? Why did my headlights need to be on? It's 4:30 and it's not bad weather. Come on, Russia. Russian cops not messing around. That's kind of weird. I guess I need to just put my headlights on if everyone else has them on. I'm blaming that one on the game. That's not my fault. That's a weird one right there. Let's go over these train tracks. Hopefully they're smooth. Oh, they're a little bit bumpy. Not too bad though. Alright, left. Not gonna do Gdansk. Gonna do Kaunas, wherever that is. Oh, I think that's in Latvia or whatever. We'll be turning right up here though. This should be our proper sign. Kaliningrad, left Kaunas, yeah, Olsztyn to the right. And more train tracks, just trains all over here. Gee golly, they are everywhere. Come on, I don't want to get a red light. Stop being so slow. Now it's red. I made it through though. Okay, that's clear. And we are good to go. I'm intrigued by those plants right there. Because as I said, there's very similar looking things in Alaska, but I don't think they're that big. I'm not really sure what those are. Birch trees, all kinds of stuff up here. Once again, of course, if you guys want to see anything on the channel come in the fall, go ahead, let me know. We'll see what we can do. I also want to really start, you know, expanding this trucking empire and getting new trucks, new drivers, all that kind of stuff. I think that's something that, you know, would greatly enhance the channel. So I'll definitely be posting, you know, that's why I think I want to do Twitch streams to help do that as well, and to answer questions during the streams too, because I don't really get a lot of comments, and even if I do, I mean, you know, I gotta squeeze them into another episode, and usually I record 3 or 4 episodes ahead of time, so if you leave a comment, you might not see it initially. Alright, 20 miles an hour. These border checkpoints just take forever to get through on this game. It's just kind of awful sometimes, to be honest. Alright, stop. It's honestly the worst thing about going to Russia is you gotta go through it, and it doesn't take a lot of in-game time because you slow down, but it takes a lot of real-life time. Oh, that was my engine. Whoopsies. Meant to hit the parking brake. Thank you, sir. Spasiba. The only Russian word I know. Also the only Russian word that I need. Alright, we can go up to 40. 20 kilometers is like 15 miles an hour. That's so insanely slow. Ugh. Could rest there if I need it, but I think we'll be good to go to our destination. When is this due, though? Saturday at 21. Yeah, so we can't rest. We have to actually make the delivery now, so it's not late. Whoa, stop. Yeah, good thing I stopped, because here come all these guys. Is anyone behind me? Hopefully not. Alright, go ahead. Good decision there. Save myself from an accident. Okay, these guys are gonna stop and let me go. Thank you. Gotta get an AI mod. I haven't even looked in Steam, in like the Steam Workshop, to see what new mods there actually even are, so that's something I should really do. It's also interesting that Poland has a lane directly for trucks, and Russia just has one lane, so I guess in Poland they have a little bit better of separation than in Russia. Of course, the signs are now in Polish rather than Russian, which means the Latin alphabet rather than Cyrillic. Alright. Now you gotta see it. See, it's also weird how there's a double border crossing, because, you know, when you go from the US to Canada, which I've done before, it's only one. You just have to go through the Canadians when you go to Canada, and then when you come back, you just have to go through the Americans. But I guess in Russia and in Europe, you have to go with the departing country and the entering country. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Alright, what's our speed limit going to be? 70 out of towns, I think. Yeah. 70 on this road. I was able to read that sign just enough. If I had a slightly bigger monitor, it might be easier to see. Alright, 1 hour and 43 minutes remaining. But now that we are out of the border checkpoints, that time will obviously go a lot faster than it has been. Also, you know, I didn't really get to showcase... Was it winter mod for most of it last year? I don't even know. I think I drove with a winter mod on. To be honest, I can't even remember, guys. But the winter mod will be coming on eventually in this series. Not when I'm down in Italy, because they don't really get winters necessarily down there. But obviously up here in Poland, they got plenty of good winter. Okay, do we want to get gas? Nah, we're fine. What's the button to see if you need gas? Is it... No, it's not R. That's the radio. I? Yeah, I. That changes it. Okay. This thing down here. For cruise control, fuel and distance, we have 2,268 kilometers left to fuel. Holy crap. Oh no. That is oil change, maybe? Fuel 780 liters. No, I guess it is. 2,264 kilometers. My goodness, this truck has a giant fuel tank. That's just incredible. My, oh my. Alright, get back up to 70. And bam. Oh, hello, policeman. See, I got my lights on now. You're not going to give me a ticket. It's kind of getting dark a little early in this right now, too. It's only 6 o'clock. Although, you know what, guys? I think I have the actual daylight cycles on, so it's not going to be getting dark at a ridiculously dark time, because I think I have the... You know, it depends on what week it is in real life, so I think this will be the real... And, you know, we're getting into September now, so it's way past the solstice, and it'll be going down to, like, 7-something, which kind of makes sense, because that's what it's been doing in real life here in Ohio. And that's another thing that hit me when I got back from Alaska, is how just early it gets dark. I mean, I got back in Seattle, and it was dark at 9:30, and obviously that's late, but to me, I was like, why is it so dark? I was used to getting dark at pretty much midnight the entire summer, and that was like one of my favorite things about being there. It's just the So much daylight, and you don't have to worry about it being dark. It's just such a wonderful thing. Oh, this is quite an enchanted forest. I still really love the Going East forest. They just did such a good job with the shrubs in there and the forest. It just looks like an actual forest. Those hay barrels look really nice too. I've been playing Minecraft so much the last couple days, so this actually looks super nice. Because, you know, Minecraft is so blocky and chunky and stuff like that. Alrighty. 42 minutes now, so... See, it's already been an hour since I said. I didn't think these 2 hours would end up taking so long, but that's what happens. I wonder what time the sun is going down. It seems kind of early, to be honest. Maybe it is going down this early in real life now. I don't know. Only 6:30, but... It is what it is. We'll make our delivery, and then, you know, we can rest for the next episode. Alright, I feel like the speed limit's going to go down, yeah, down to 50 here, so we'll ease onto the brakes. Look at that big wind turbine right in the little village. That is... Imagine living right next to that. It probably powers the whole village, though. Very eco-friendly, so... it'd be worth the trade-off of having a look at it. I think wind turbines are kind of cool looking anyway. Quite a mix of modern and old architecture with the wind turbines, and then look, you got this old church steeple up the left, which is just beautiful. I have such a thing for old buildings. My dream is to live in like a 100-year-old house that's just super well constructed, super well built. I think it would be a really cool thing. Alright. 20 minutes now, so almost there. I forgot how uncomfortable this chair is to sit into. I really should get a new chair. I'm sick of having to sit on pillows. I should get a pad for the chair is what I should, because it just hurts my butt to sit in this chair. I've been in it for a couple of hours with Minecraft and stuff, and it's just a terrible chair to game in. Gotta get a more comfortable setup than this. I guess the good thing about being transported back to Stockholm is I was able to check off a few new cities anyway that I had missed my first time through these areas. Although I wish I would have been down where I was, because then I could have continued on. But that's okay. Holston is discovered. Yay. So that's another city in Poland, and I think we have most of Poland now. Let's go zoom in on the GPS here. It's 1906, and we have until 2141 to make the delivery. So obviously we did make it in time by 2.5 hours. Make sure everyone stopped at the red light there. Good. There's the old steeples of the downtown. Looks very, very nice. Alright. Oh! Bam! Streetlights coming on. That's very aggressive. Those look like overdone in my opinion. Like way too bright. A lot brighter than a real life streetlight, I think. My golly. It's so painful when you're so close to finishing a long day of driving, and then you gotta do this. My brother and I had this super fun night the other night where we got on the ETS2 multiplayer servers and got cars and went in the arcade where you can just do whatever you want, and we raced. And we raced across, like, I mean, we got across Sweden in like 10 minutes. It was just crazy. We were going like 100 and 180, crashing, taking ferries to... We raced from London to Aberdeen, and like I cheated by taking a ferry, and he cheated by purposely crashing and then teleporting ahead to the next city, so he ended up winning, but his cheating was worse than mine, so... I guess when you both cheat, you're losers, but it gave me a good video idea. I think that would be a fun thing. I think people, you know, sometimes it's good to do some fun, silly videos along with the serious. I think so. Maybe we'll do one of those, him and I, of just going crazy on Euro Truck with cars in the multiplayer server. Would be quite fun. Okay, if we just straighten this thing out now. Alright, now we gotta back it in, so we want it to go to the right, so we'll turn this left. And how much more to the right? I think that'll be good. Then we can just turn it in the other way. Yep. Okay, get it till it's straight in. And then pivot it, I think. Nice and slow. Just wait for it. Yeah, we still gotta just wait for it a bit longer. Okay, now pivot it. Oh, waited a bit too long. It's okay. Not perfect, but we can just move forward a little bit. We caught our mistake. So, you know, improving is going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. Okay, really focus on this. Yeah, we're still got to move forward a bit. That's all right. Stop it before it's messed up even more. Okay. Those are no factor. Oh, wrong way. Jeez. Turn this to the right, and then the trailer will go left. Okay, good. Check to make sure we're clear on that side. We are. All the way. Nice and sharp. All the way back. Make sure we're clear out the right of all the wall and stuff. Yes, we are. Please don't overturn. Please don't overturn. Stop. It's crooked. I overdid it again. I always do. But at least it's in. Still not perfect. I mean, I know we're rusty, but come on. This has got to be the year that I get this figured out, because I've been messing this up for far too long. I'm just terrible at it, though. Okay, nice and straight. Okay, I think that's good. Neutral, engine off, parking brake. Tiniest bit crooked, but it'll do. It's still a proper park job. Alright, show results now. Let's see if they have any job offers that we can take for the next episode. Kalmar, North, oh, Krakow, that's a good one. When's it due? Sunday. It's a 7-hour drive. We'd have time to sleep too, I think, because 7 hours would take us until 3 in the morning, and then we'd have 12 hours to sleep. So I think, yeah, we should make that by about 2 or 3 hours. So we're going to take this, guys, 20 tons of used packaging, take it down to Krakow. And we're in PEX, so we just have to kind of cut across rather than cut up. So that'll be the next episode, guys. We'll be going back through Poland, back to Krakow. I want to thank you guys all for watching. And that's another new city we haven't been to, so we'll check off another one. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you later on. For now, make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. I'm Mr. F like 9916. Peace.